Hey guys, reporting for you from a wintry day in Bloemfontein. Got you yesterday from Durban. Geez, and the cold. I've forgotten how cold it is at times here. And those who know Bloemfontein will know that this cold gets into your veins. Yeah, so the Boks are here. It's ice cold. Some of them are feeling the effects of the cold already. But nonetheless, they've gone and named a team. It's very interesting. But the most interesting news hasn't been the team. It has been the injuries around the team. And just looking at some long-term effects, which makes Saturday's game against Portugal all the more important for a number of reasons. Now, they're training over here in the background. We only get 15 minutes with the team, and so we haven't really been able to see much. But saying that, the most interesting part of the entire thing has been the injuries that came out. You've got injuries to Malcolm Marx, who's a fractured tibia, apparently 4 to 6 weeks out. You've got Franco Mostert, who's broken his leg, 4 to 6 weeks out, 6 weeks in more than 4. You've got Edward van der Merwe, who's got an ankle injury, and you've got Pieter Stief de Toy, and that's the one that I think surprised us all, who's out for 4 to 6 weeks, but we don't actually know what the injury is. We've been trying to find out, but there's some sort of secrecy around the injury at the moment. Yeah, nobody seems to know or want to tell anybody what the injury is. Saying that, yeah, so those 4 injuries, and those are huge injuries for the Boks. If you think 3 of those are World Cup winners, 3 of those are frontline players for the Boks, and very definitely would have been in the side to go against Australia in that first test. So now they've got some changes to make, and that's going to be quite interesting to see what they do. That's why this game against Portugal becomes all the more important. Okay guys, because of the sun I changed the angles a bit so they can actually see the camera, but saying that Malcolm Marx's injury has been the one that hit them the most, and because Johan Grobbelaar is the 3rd choice hooker now, that makes this all the more important, how he goes on Saturday and whether he does well, and Andre Hichler-Venter on the bench as well, also making his debut. Both of them will be keenly watched to see how they do, especially with that test against Australia coming up. Bongi will probably start, but you've got the 2 of them that are going vying for that 2nd position. Of course, Marco van Staden is also throwback. There's also Joseph Dwebe, who's on the fringes of the squad as well. But I would say one of these 2 would go to Australia with the Boks, and so there's everything for them to play for on Saturday when they face Portugal. In Pieter Stief de Toy's case, that's a huge loss, because the amount of work he puts in for the side, and the amount of just where he's all over the field and the tackles he puts in. He was the top tackler in the last 2 tests against Ireland, so he's a huge loss for them as well. And Ben Jason Dixon has been seen as a player in the mould of Pieter Stief. It's quite a big shoes to fill, but he really gets a chance this week to have a look and see if he can be there. And yeah, Salman Marat and Archie's name on the lock. One of them is going to take Franco Mostert's place. Probably Archie they're looking at as well. But you go look at the bench as well. Ben Jason Dixon can cover at the bench. So there's lots going to be riding on this game, and certainly Bloemfontein's up for the test. We it's sold out here. There's a lot of Portuguese, South Africans who are coming down to watch the game, so it should be quite a carnival atmosphere. But those injuries have been quite a setback for the Boks, and it's going to really test them this weekend. I don't expect Portugal to give them the same sort of test as Australia, but there's certainly players who can put their hands up and certainly make a name for themselves and book a trip to Australia as well. Of course, that also means that if you know, they do well, and some of these players don't make it in time for the 2nd test against Australia, which is where they're targeting, then it's going to be the first test against the All Blacks in Ellis Park at 31st of August. That's going to be the next one to look at, the next timeline to look at. But yeah, there's a lot going, and I think it almost went unnoticed. The other injuries, Edward van der Merwe, who got a bit of a knock to the ankle and is also out for 6 weeks. Kainan Moody, who's got a fractured finger, will be returning to the side next week and should be right for that tour to Australia as well. So those are the other injury news, but those big ones are a huge blow for the Boks, and certainly some they're going to have to navigate. But maybe that's all right. It opens a door for another player, and if somebody else comes through, then that's always a bonus. Saying that, it certainly added some spice to Saturday's game here in Bloemfontein, which was expected to be an easy run for the Springboks. Now there's a bit more significance to it, and there's a bit more to watch on some of the fringe players. A lot of players making their debut, so they're going to be keenly watched. Well, that's it for Bloemfontein for now. Keep watching, and if you haven't already, smash that subscribe button. There'll be more videos around here, and yeah, good chatting to you. Cheers.